What's going on, Facebook? This is your boy, Self-Made J Skills. Normally I do my EDC dump, but I'm not doing that today. I want to talk on something that's very important. I want to bring my daughter in. That's my little baby girl. That's my baby boy. So I'm gonna let them go, but I just need them to feature them in this video. How y'all go play?
Alright. Bye. Bye.
Don't fall.
You slick. You slick.
Don't start that yelling, because I'm recording the video. I want to discuss what's going on around the world. I want to discuss first perspective as a father, as an African American man in the United States. I got a lot of things on my mind, a lot of things that I keep as a black man and as a father. With the shooting that recently happened in Wisconsin, with the black male getting shot in the back seven or eight times, with his 4 boys in the car. I don't know what led up to that. I don't know what went on, but for what I done seen in the 2 camera angles from 2 different cell phones that I seen, I'm not gonna jump to conclusions with the cop and if he's wrong or not. A lot of that will come out. But my problem with the prosecution and people that's involved, that's doing the investigation, I need them to be. I don't need this to drag out no 8 to 10 months for an investigation. I don't think it's going to take that long from what footage that I done seen for them to start a speedy process. I'm not saying jump to conclusions, but it's enough evidence that I done seen where it shouldn't take them no 6 to 8 months to come to not even the decision, but to know if they're going to pin charges. I mean, not pin, but bring charges to that particular cop. I'm a fan of the police. I don't believe in defunding the police, but I do believe in breaking their union, breaking the back of the union. Because it's too many times the cops, even with blatant evidence, video evidence, that they don't want to prosecute cops. I was raised that right is right, wrong is wrong. Civilian or cop, right is right, wrong is wrong. And I stand by that. But like I just said, I'm not going to be the one to say the cop is guilty, the cop is innocent. I don't know all the evidence as it came out. But from what I've seen in the 2 videos without anything else, and the reason why he was even in that neighborhood was to break 2 women up. How did him going from breaking up a fight between 2 women to him and the cops, I'm trying to be real careful, get into it to where the point they let him walk around his car, let him open up his door, and then put 7 shots to 8 shots in his back with his 4 boys in the back seat. We got to change the language of the law, man. And the people, I think I was looking at the other day, ever since George Floyd has been killed, it's a bill that's been passed over to Congress about policing and how they should be treated when they hold their date in court for doing something they had no business doing. So I'm glad to see that Real Sharpton is back, getting into Congress with the different languages of the law, a different language of the law for cops that's not taking this thing of, blatantly killing black men or hurting black women seriously. So I challenge people this November, man. Normally I do an ED something. Normally I talk about guns, but as a father, it's my duty to get on here and not bash the police, but to challenge us as a people to go to your local Congress, not Congress, but your local city council people. Go to your leading DA. Ask them the hard questions. If a cop is wrong and the evidence shows by video or by body cam or by dash cam shows that if that cop's completely 100% wrong, as the leading DA, are you willing to prosecute that cop only on the morals of right is right, wrong is wrong? We have to start asking these politics them type of questions, especially as black men and black women that's living in America. The system is not broken. The system is working for the people it's supposed to work for. And until the good cops are able to speak out and not be chastised or be stoned because of an entity of racist cops, then we'll never get anywhere. They should be able to speak. If a cop says something racial, that needs to be investigated, and he needs to be off for a couple of days until that investigation is done to figure out who and what is his character as a police officer. We have racist cops in the force. That's no denying that. But when they get pointed out, we shouldn't chastise the cops. That's good to say, oh, you're not part of the brotherhood because you doing the right thing. So I'm not going to put it all on the cops. I'm going to put it on us as voters to go out there and challenge some of these people that we put in office that's not willing to do the right thing. George Floyd case, the leading DA did not want to take the case. As black people in that state, y'all should be angry and getting that DA out of office. That was concrete evidence that them cops was wrong. And as a DA, if you can't do your job that we selected you and you're the leading DA and you can't go off concrete evidence, then you don't need to be my leading DA. After the shooting of the young man, I can't remember his name right now, but in Wisconsin, it was two other men, 26 and 36, I believe, and then another man getting injured by a white male at the age of 17 was coming down to protect property, and this man is from Illinois. It turns out he has no property or no business that he owns in the state or he has no property or business in that state of Wisconsin. Not only do you not have property down there, but you bring a rifle. That's what we're sick of. And he walks right past the police. Now, as the crowd says, he's the shooter. They did not put him down with lethal force. They did not disarm him. And he's carrying a rifle, clearly draped across his chest. I'm getting sick of it. I'm getting sick of it as a father that has to raise a black young man. That I have to have these hard talks with him about when you get pulled over, what to do and what not to do. My counter white men is not telling their son, don't have to worry about telling their sons that story. So if you're my friend or you know me personally, you're a white male or a white female, and you're not outraged, then You're not with me. That's the problem. I don't know what else to say, man. I just got a lot of thoughts going through my head with what's been going on the last couple of days. But it's too many incidents where white men are having guns, but they're not getting put down or not getting shot or not using deadly force to disarm these men. Went in a black church, shot 9 black people, worshipers, and was able to leave the church and was apprehended with no scratches, no deadly force, no unnecessary force. He was brought into custody, then either was stopped at McDonald's or Burger King to get something to eat. But you have white cops' knees on black men's neck. He has no weapon on him, but you felt like in order to control him, you had to have your knees on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. I'll give you a story. As a black male here in Michigan, and when I first got my CPL, and it's been a couple years, before even what's going on now, I was in Dearborn, which is a city outside Detroit, but it's more of a white suburb. I had to go take some gear back to storage, some church gear. I actually am a deacon in my church, so I had to take the gear back after service. I was stopped in my father-in-law's truck. Well, I was carrying my Glock 29 on me. He stopped me. I told him that I was CPL and I did have my weapon of choice on me. And at the time, it was in my holster, hooked to my belt on my side of me. And he wanted me to reach and grab my pistol and hand it to him. I said, no. I don't feel comfortable handing you my pistol. Is it okay if I get out the car and you disarm me yourself? The white cop said, yes, I don't mind. These are the conversations that I'm going to have to have. I'm eventually going to have with my son on what to do and not to do with you having a weapon, your CPL, or without you having your CPL and having a weapon. Why should we be treated different? How come a white man with a rifle that just shot 3 people down the street can walk past police tanks, police cruisers with a rifle draped across his chest and not get arrested? He was able to get in his car and go back to Indianapolis where they arrested him. Now he's getting transferred back to Illinois so he can, to Wisconsin so he can face charges of a murder and homicide or something like that. Because 2 died and 1 was injured, fatally wounded. And he has a Facebook, which they done took down now, of him being in a militia or thinking like a militia, or it was some of that nature. This is the reason why. And then he's 17. His mind, he doesn't have the mindset to go around policing at the age of 17. He's not ready. And I'm 36 years old. He's not ready to take on that type of responsibility at the age of 17. And now I have to go. I want to do the research and figure out what age is it that you can purchase a rifle in America. I'm not 100% sure. I know what age you got to be to purchase a pistol, but I'm not for sure on the age of purchasing an AR-15 or a rifle of any sort. Shout out to the NBA. Shout out to the WNBA. Shout out to those who actually the other day decide enough is enough. That unless y'all do something more drastic and change, then we have agreed to not play basketball. WNBA has not decided to play basketball. A couple more people, and then the Detroit Lions canceled practice to hold a press conference to say they have had enough as a front runner in the NFL to be the first to do anything as far as that concerned. Shout out to the MLB, NBL, National Baseball League or something like that. Shout out to them for players seeing counseling some of their games. I don't know how long this is going to last, but I know that the language of the law needs to change real quick, or drastic things are going to happen that I do not want to see. By me having a cousin that works for the United States Police Department. I'm not going to give the city that he's in, but I don't want to get that call because legislation hasn't moved fast enough to change the language of the law. I love him. I pray for him every day that he has to go beat the streets. He has to go out there and patrol the streets. But we need to wake up. Riots are the cry of the unjust, of the unheard. Martin Luther King said that back when he was living. Riots are the cry of the unheard. We have been unheard far too long. And we need an immediate change in the language of the law. I'm not saying every cop is a bad cop, but because of them few and the few good ones that keep on saying we don't want to work with bad cops. But when it's time to come up and say what you have to say, we don't want to speak against our brother. Well, I was always taught, if you go to jail, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. So as a citizen of the United States, why is it that if I do the crime and you have clear-cut evidence, video evidence, that I have done it or I've shot somebody in the back, as a CPL holder, you cannot shoot someone running away or walking away in the back without being prosecuted for attempted murder, or if they die later on, the charge will be trumped up to murder. I don't know what the police could have done in this case before discharging their weapon. I don't know. I asked myself when I first saw the video, before I saw, it's the second video now that shows before he got around to his driver's door, somebody on the other side was videotaping. That tape has came out, it has surfaced all of a sudden now. So I asked myself, what have the cops could have done differently, or what could they have said to diffuse the situation? I don't know. That's the answer I do not have for you guys. I will continue to follow the story very closely, especially a father that has 2 children, and possibly could have had 4 children, but 2 of my children died in my wife's pregnancy. My wife was pregnant 4 times. We had 2 that survived and 2 that didn't. So just as him having 4 children, I could have had 4 children as of today. So I'm going to end this video with that. Like I said, I will continue to follow the story as developments hit, as they continue to investigate. I'm not going to call them guilty. I'm not going to say anything about the police officer, but I am going to say, like I've been saying to myself, I just watched the video last night. The video has been surfaced. I finally sat down and watched it, and I was very disturbed. Especially when I heard that the children was in the back seat and the fiance was yelling to the female cop that the children was in the back. And according to her words, that the female cop said, "Get back or I'll shoot you too." They have the mindset of coming home. They've been programmed to come home. And that program has to change. They're going to get caught in some sticky situations. And I understand that. As me wanting to be a cop and me actually going out to the Detroit Police Department and actually passing the written exam and then passing the physical exam. But ultimately, for some reason, when I did my background interview or whatnot, orientation, I got the letter in the mail saying that for 4 different, could be for 4 different reasons why they decide to say no. They did not take me in the academy. I'm not bitter. I'm not mad. Maybe that wasn't for me. But ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be a police officer. So I am going to be partial about the situation. May God bless the young man that actually got shot in the back. I wish him a speedy recovery. I did see his mom and his dad on the news and his 2 sisters. My condolences to you guys. And what you're going through. I couldn't imagine laying in a hospital bed and being possibly paralyzed. For whatever reason. I don't know the reason. I don't know. You know, facts haven't completely came out, so I'm not going to speculate. But I'm going to be biased in my decision making and what I say until I can fully get a picture from the family side of things and the officer side of things when they finish their investigation. But with both videos, it shouldn't take the police department 6 months to 8 months to almost a year to figure it out if they're going to press charges against that officer. We have yet to see. I'm going to encourage for them to finish their investigation, and I will look at it from both sides of the spectrum, and later on I will give my opinion once I can gather as many facts as I possibly can in this case before I rush to judgment. I'm telling you, I had a lot of emotions making this video, but I tried to keep them in check. I tried to be fair to both sides. And that's what I'm going to try to do. But like I said, I am going to keep a close eye on the story because I want to keep an eye on it as a father, as a black father in America. What is it like to live in America as a black male, as a black female? And to my white counterparts, the people that I've come in contact with, if you don't believe that there's a problem in America, that we don't have a racial issue, then I don't understand what you're looking at. There are bad cops. There are bad cops in the police department that needs to be weeded out so the good cops can do their job without fearing people retaliating and people going back and possibly hurting them because of the actions of others. Sorry, this video ain't about guns, but it's been weighing heavy on my heart to get out here and speak on racial issues that we've been dealing with for over 200 years. And I'm so glad that the players decide on, I think his last name is Jacob, if I'm not mistaken, to not play yesterday on his behalf and his family's behalf. And the WNBA and the national baseball, the professional baseball, and some of the individual athletes that decide to say, this is not the time for sports. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry it ain't EDC dump first and talking about guns, but as a father, as a black father in this country, I had to speak on equality, not judging or not rushing to judgment to convict the cop. And I understand that they have to investigate, but I don't want the excuse that it's going to take you 6 to 8 months with their two clear video, with two videos on one side of the car and on the other side of the car to come to a conclusion if y'all going to convict this cop of attempted murder. 6 months to 8 months later, then y'all say if y'all going to do it or not. Y'all have two videos that y'all can go into a room, figure out what's going on, and get back within at least a month. It shouldn't take them more than a month to figure out if they're going to charge this cop or let this cop go. Because you have evidence from the side to where they started to the side where he actually walks around the car and actually gets shot. I don't want to hear 6 months later talking about we are still under investigation. He's still under, the case is still under investigation. That's unacceptable when you have video from different kind of angles. And that's no excuse for me. I'm sorry. Just like the Floyd, you got evidence. I'm just telling you, I'm just asking. Go in there, look at the evidence that's presented to you as far as video evidence. Go talk to people like you're supposed to, but I don't want the excuse that 6 months to 8 months later, y'all haven't figured out if y'all going to charge or let the cop go. So y'all have a blessed day, man. May God bless each and every one of you. So sorry this is not a gun video, but as you can see, I have 2 children. I pray every day that I go to work and come home that I'm able to make it to my children. You know, anything else in this world is not as important than to make it home, to make sure that I'm able to raise my children, to be productive citizens, and to respect cops when you've been approached by one, but also demand respect as well. If you give out respect, demand respect as well. So that's all I am saying. Y'all stay safe and be blessed. Peace.